And by the way, if you lost money in the last 10 years, like that was a lot harder to do than any other time in history, in US history, right? Like these last 10 years have been tremendous. So the danger is that a lot of people think they're better than they really are. And I just have um, this conviction that if I'm going to coach with someone or look up to someone for mentorship or leadership, they need to be battle tested. They need to have the time in. They need to actually be great at the thing that they're teaching, not just a jack of all trades, not just someone that had a good year, a good few years. And unfortunately, that's where most people get into trouble, is because the experts today, the coaches today, think they can coach on anything, even though they haven't done it. People are coaching on all kinds of topics that they have never actually done themselves.
No, hey, you know this, right? I know that your BS meter's pretty high like mine when you have people come on the podcast and they start telling you about the things that they're having so much success, meaning their students, right? My student is really excelling in this area and they're really doing this well. And man, we're having a lot of success over here. And I'm like, the question that we always ask is, man, that's amazing. Show me how that's working for you.
Right.
And there's, the beauty is there's a lot of people that are doing the thing that they're selling and talking about, but there's also a lot of them that are like, oh, well, I used to do that, right? Like I started out, like I know you're in the mobile home park. I did that for a while. It was really cool. And then so I just built this whole mobile home park like teaching course. And I've just been doing that for the last 10 years, teaching people. I hadn't bought any parks in 10 years. And you hear a lot of that kind of stuff where people are like making money selling the thing, but they're not actually doing the thing.
100%. Yeah. I mean, a lot of people, take a look at authors, take a look at people that are promoting courses. The vast majority of them are not experts in the thing that they're doing. They just found that there's a niche in that area and they're gaining market share. Right. And a lot of these people, they didn't make their money on the investments. They made their money on the products that they made to teach investing. I mean, this is so common. And unfortunately, the sad truth of it is a lot of this was not exposed for a good amount of time. We're starting to see it getting exposed now as the economy is hitting a halt, as we're experiencing signs of recession. Some people think we're in a recession. I tend to believe that we are in the midst of one and the beginning of it. We've got a lot of bank failures. We've got a lot of stuff going on. But one of the things that I'm seeing, and I know you are too, I am seeing more Ponzi schemes popping up, people getting caught running Ponzi schemes than I can remember in quite some time, and literally in just the last couple of years.
Yeah, somebody was telling me yesterday, there actually is I forget the site that's tracking the number of Ponzi schemes, but it is, we don't hear it unless we or someone in our close sphere has experienced it. But there's like, I think on average about 90 Ponzi schemes that gets exposed per year. It's like a $5 to $8 billion a year type deal. And,
wow.
and it ultimately comes down to a lot of people are seeking ways to try to beat Wall Street, right? Like, I mean, that's the first Ponzi scheme that I got exposed to was right after I left the financial firm that I was working for in 2015. And my business partner and I broke off. We started Wealth Without Wall Street. I'm at an event with 100 other CPAs, CFPs, financial professionals, if you will. And there's 4 or 5 different alternative investments being shared with the group. And one of them, like the most quote unquote conservative of the group, turned out to be $1 billion Ponzi scheme. Wow. And it was the group that was pitching it had been in the real estate space for 20 plus years, had built this fantastic name, and turned out the owner was buying real estate that he supposedly was supposed to be lending out to other people, and he was the one buying it. Instead of them doing it at 60% loan to value, he was buying the property and taking all the loan proceeds and everything, so doing 110% deals and taking cash in order to pay back investors. And obviously it ultimately reared its head, and people lost a lot of money in that.
Yeah, and it's unfortunate because a lot of these Ponzi schemes, so sometimes it's like a good business that at a certain point you can't make payroll, you can't pay the investors, and so it worked until it didn't work. It worked until the economic season shifted. Other businesses, and this is the real shame, a lot of them, it's greedy people that literally used and spent that money, bought for themselves, were huge consumers of those dollars, and it was never actually a business outside of maybe even the first year or the first few months.
Well, my business partner and I did a podcast recently, and we called it the 3 reflections from investment failures. and we went through and just kind of identifying to the, somebody's listening and trying to figure out, okay, how do I identify the bad deals, right? How do I avoid making the mistakes? Well, we gave 3 points, none of them super unique, but one was trust but verify. And the verification is the part that nobody ends up doing. Right? Yep. Like I'm sitting there, I'm talking to Justin. I like Justin. I think Justin would never do anything bad. But we don't know, did Justin do the thing? Did Justin verify the data? And I know you would verify the data, but unfortunately, there's people that don't verify the data. So if I just invest through you, I might end up trusting in you, and you're a good person to trust, except you didn't end up doing the due diligence that you really needed to do. So that ends up happening. The second thing is that we make that say, my father-in-law has a saying, liars figure and figures lie, right? You've heard that before.
Oh, yeah.
And I think what we need to know is the math always has to align. There has to be a story that explains how it's a good deal for the person operating the business as well as me. And sometimes you can see that the math gets out of line, like the deal gets so sweet. Maybe it's the tax advantages, right? I know you have a lot of people listening who make a lot of money, and the tax advantages. We get toward the end of the year and we're looking for the place I can invest money that I can reduce my tax liability for the coming year. Sometimes we allow the tax tail to wag the dog. And then ultimately, I think so few people know the actual operators of the deals they're investing in. They're just investing in people, not actually the person doing the deal. And if in the 2 Ponzi schemes I've seen personally up front and close, neither time did we know the operator. And it was just like, oh, there's the prime example of why we have to know at least who that person is and how they're operating, even if we're investing through someone else to get there.
That's right. And the track record needs, in my opinion, to be greater than, 20 years. Like they need to have gone through a recession. Right. They need to understand that, what the economic climate looks like during a recession and have things check the boxes. Like we need to have several pro formas of deals that have gone full cycle so that we know that this person has expertise. And yeah, if you are not the operator and you're bringing in a third party, if this is not in-house, then you need to get to know the operators. And by the way, the operators need to have that type of a track record of, 20 years in the business. And if you do some of these simple steps, you're going to mitigate a lot of the risk out there, because a lot of the deals that are falling apart right now are people that started syndicating within the last 10 years, all inside this crazy bull market. And maybe they had 1 or 2 or 3 deals go really well, but it's all inside of this highly inflated market.